Oh hey viewers, it's been a while. As you can see on the screen, I have not participated this season at all, but anyways, I'm back at the very tail end of the 20-21 Exhibition Season 2 Nations Cup Round 7 at Tail Seaside. Still a mouthful, still haven't figured out how to say that in a quick way, but anyways, life has just been busy, and also Project Wingman came out, and if you've poked around my channel or just understand where my username comes from, you'll understand I'm a huge Ace Combat fan, so that also pulled me away for a bit, but I got all the achievements on that now, so I'm back to doing some sim racing. So just a quick look on the little point screen there, you can see that I'm in a 201 point lobby. That's roughly where I've been slotting in every race I have been in. Seeing some familiar faces and all that, but yeah, it's interesting to come back after about three-ish months or so of not racing at all. So this combination too is not the best combination in my opinion, because this thing, and you can see there I start off beautifully on the warm-up by spinning myself out and going wide, but this thing handles like the Titanic. It's a cruise liner through the corners with the understeer. And tire wear is at 10 times, so that means that this race is truly a tire conserving race and also a fuel conserving race. Because of that, I jump out qualifying because I want to be the very first to come out, but as you can see there, I was in the middle of the pack and someone was right behind me. So I jump back out, or I quit and I jump back in because I want to take this outlap very, very gently, very, very slowly, very carefully, because again, the tire wear is so high on the racing softs. One lap of tire wear actually makes a huge difference in terms of the pace you can put in. So as you see there, I'm slowing down, I'm just letting people go by, and you'll see how slowly and gently I'm taking these corners, because again, I want to maximize my one flying lap since we only have 5 minutes now to qualify. I want to maximize my performance from my one flying lap. So honestly, the flying lap though wasn't that great. This clip here summarizes how that lap went, because here I completely mess up the death chicane. Luckily I don't die, but I get it pretty badly done, and I end up crossing the line at 144, and you can see here on my second lap, someone messed up, appeared on the apex and dropped out, so that kind of threw me off. But again, you can see how the tires were already worn just from one lap of going hard. So I qualified 14th, 1.6 seconds, 666. So is that a sign of things to come? Wasn't really looking forward to that, but you can see there I line up 14th on the grid at 144. I was at least half a second behind where I could be. So, but we're going to start off the grid start, and hopefully we're going to get a clean start. So away we go, and we don't get the best starts. Probably because I'm not using the e-brake. I'm just not used to using that because it's on my G27's mapped to the shifter column, so I don't really like starting with one wheel or one hand on the steering wheel. Well, anyways, we're coming down to the first chicane, and luckily I was on the outside, and that actually worked out for me. You can see there I go a little deep, but I gained 2 positions right off the bat, and although I'm about to lose 1 position right here, still though, I was able to avoid some of that crowd that bunching up back there. And you can see here, I'm just trying to stay alive, like it's processional, and there's a person off already. I'm on the outside. I managed to regain a place from that spin out. We also managed to gain a place by going around the outside there. And now we find ourselves in 11th place. So not a bad start. That 666 didn't really reflect on it, I guess. But anyways, I get a horrible run through a chicane. Honestly, with the understeer on this car and also the tire wear, I found it, at least for my level, hard to maintain consistency through this high-speed chicane, sweeping chicane, whatever you want to call it, area. Just because, yeah, I'm not very comfortable with it. But again, you can see I'm braking pretty early. I'm just trying to take it easy. Luckily, the person behind me is reasonable too. They're taking it easy as well. I'm just trying to survive. I don't want to die yet, you know. It's the first lap. So there's no point trying to, wrestle past everyone, especially when everyone's in line. And so my racing excuse for taking the death chicane so badly was people in front of me threw me off, because I didn't get a practice race at all. I couldn't find a lobby that was racing, and when I did, I couldn't find one that had the right settings. So that's my racing driver excuse. So I'm back and serious when I already have my excuses lined up. But anyways, We lose place to Placa Plum because of that. No worries though, they're faster than us, and I could tell straight off. Since you saw there, I took the later line to get better exit speed, but I didn't even catch up at all. So we're going to jump back to the start since that was then lap 1, just to recap on some of that. It was a lot cleaner than I thought it was going to be. I was expecting the worst because this first turn complex always brings out crashes, but luckily we all survived. You can see there, I'm on the outside, and that actually gets me to avoid a little bunch up on the inside, which allows me to sail right past, kinda. I mean, I get a poor exit here, and that's how Placa Plum is able to pass me, but still, able to make up a good amount of positions. And again, you can see here that I get a little tap from the back, and that's why I kind of surge forward, and luckily I'm on the outside so I can avoid some of the chaos going on the inside right there. So jumping back now to Placa Plum's view, we can see here that Donnybrook ahead breaks a little early because cars ahead are bunching up, so, and then they get a little glove tap as well. There's a whole Constantine effect going on. That's why I was able to swing around the outside so successfully. And so you can see there they get the better exit though, and they're able to sail by me pretty easily because of the extra exit speed. But coming into the hairpin, you can see here that they're being very cautious on the inside, and then they get tapped a little. And that's actually I think why I was able to get around them, because they didn't get the best exits out of there. So we're going to now jump ahead to Impatient Meteor, who is the unfortunate victim of spinning here, kind of like what I did in practice, and they turned into a meteor, alright, just not in a good way. So now they're down to last place with some damage, so that's just unfortunate. But yeah, that corner is a bit rough. So coming back to lap 2 now, we are coming into the first corner in 12th place, so we gain 2 positions, and then we get lunged from you know, the next planet over, how far back they were. They were like, what, 3 or 4 tenths behind, and they end up actually making contact with us. Now we lose out because now we're not behind them, the group ahead in slipstream anymore. But luckily they're fighting pretty hard. But I was a little wary, and you can see there on the radar, again, they kind of go for another mega lunge. I was wary about that, but I was prepared, luckily, and the group ahead's fighting so much that I'm back in their slipstream again. So I'm pretty sure those lunges weren't like intentional. I think that was just more bad / clumsy driving, like an error on their part. Because at this level, like, we're not all, you know, experts yet, so we tend to sometimes make dumb little mistakes like that. But anyways, coming into the last hairpin, I was wary again that I'd get lunged, so I stay in the middle of the road so I can kind of mark my territory. And Mario Superdose accidentally goes into the back of Donnybrook. I'll just take that position for free, thank you very much. I'm on the inside. I'm not going to yield because I'm on the inside for this part. Donnybrook luckily concedes, and we go through the Death Chicane. And again, I just screwed this up. I could not get my wits together. I think maybe it was nerves, maybe it was just being put off, but we're going to go ahead and speed up here just to monitor the gap ahead and behind. So you can see that behind I'm getting pressured, and ahead they're pulling away from me. And so we're going to slow down here because I accidentally go for the mega dive bomb of the race and the century, because I get flipped up by that curb sometimes because I take a little too much of it, and that kind of threw me off and threw my braking point off. So I did not intend to do that to Placa Plum, but yeah, it kind of worked. So anyways, again, fast forwarding because not much happened, but here to monitor the gap. And you can see here that I'm in the middle of the group, and I slow down here because notice how Mario Superdose just suddenly disappears out of nowhere. You look on the radar below, they're right behind me, and then bam, they just disappear completely. Turns out they got done real dirty by the Death Chicane. So here's their perspective following behind me, and then suddenly they just get smacked sideways, like sideways, not even they hit it right. So when you slow it down, you can see they cleared it, but the hitbox just decided, no, it decided you're not going to pass me today. And they get engine damage and suspension damage, and they lose a ton of time, and that's just really unfortunate for them. But they call it the Chicane of Death for a reason. So anyways, we continue on, ending lap 3, and see I get a good run on PSRT, OTJ owner, but I couldn't make it stick around the outside. Placa Plum comes by me, I'm not going to resist, they're faster than me, and like I said, that was a completely unintentional dive bomb. But yeah, we round out the end of lap 4 in 10th place, so we still gained 4 positions. So again, going to fast forward it because just monitoring the gap ahead and behind, you can see that I'm in their slipstream, and I'm just trying to stay behind her because again, this is a fuel and tire consuming race, but I screwed the fast part up, and that was the end of that. And you can see now I'm out of the slipstream range. But I do mess up the death chicane, which does give me a position because OTJ owner up ahead messed it up even more than I did. Unfortunately, that around 1.6, 1.8 second gap I had to clear in Fiji, who was behind me earlier, you can see now they've gained almost an entire second. They've gained over a second on me just from that. And now that they are about 7/10, or yeah, about a quarter of a second behind, 3/4 of a second behind, they're in my slipstream range. So now I'm feeling the pressure, but luckily I'm able to catch back up to the group ahead, and furthermore, I'm clearing Fiji outbreaks themselves, so I don't need to really worry about that, because now you can see the gap behind me is 1.3 seconds, so I can relax a little. And coming through Death Chicane, I decided, okay, I am not going to mess this up this time, so I take my time, get through it, and then peak attack, however you say the name, messes up ahead, I bounce off them, and I was actually screaming at my TV, please don't give me a penalty there, and you can see luckily I didn't get a penalty, thankfully. And someone goes in for the pit stops because it's around lap 5. They're going for the soft medium strategy. I'm going for the soft strategy because I found the mediums were not worth the extra life because they were just too much slower than the softs. So going for the pit stops. The mini boys doing their best job there. I like the smoke out in all the steam. I don't remember that detail being there in the pits, but anyways, we come back out and I actually jumped Black and Plum in the pit lane. Turns out they needed fuel, which is why they're going so fast earlier. And I actually jumped quite a few people. H2O was ahead of me as well. I managed to jump them because they weren't fuel saving like I was. So I know Black and Plum though is going to come by me, so I'm just going to bide my time, going to run my own race. When they catch up to me, I'm not going to fight them because this is the longer stint too. Even though the car is lighter, you saw how worn out the tires were at the end of 6 laps. These tires are going to be really dead. Now I definitely took those corners way too conservatively. Again, the whole range of worn tires and all that kind of throws me off a little. But luckily, Black and Plum doesn't go for the move here. I was really hoping they would know better because this is not a good place to pass. It will just slow you down. So luckily, they do know better, and I pull over to the left. I'm just trying to, and I stay on the racing line. I'm not going to defend it. I'm going to just let them go by. So they get the inside. I brake slightly early. I'm just looking. It looks like I'm getting the cutback, but I'm not actually trying to pass them. I'm just trying to get in space from minimize my time loss. And I want to try to use their slipstream for them to pull me along and to save a little fuel since I'm about halfway through. You can see I'm about half empty, but yeah, they were a lot faster than me, and they start sailing off in the distance after that, so I don't get to see them then. But anyways, we skipped to lap 8 now, and I make the dumbest mistake ever. I decided to switch the MFD during the death chicane. I don't know why I did this, but you can see there I took that horribly. I didn't hit anything, but I took it really slow. And now H2O behind me has pulled into my slipstream because of that. They gained about 4/10, half a second, because I just made a completely scatterbrained decision to do that. But what was a rather comfortable gap has now turned to pressure, and considering that this is lap 8 turning to lap 9, that means that there's still quite a few laps left. And you can see there the tires are starting to wear out now, so it's going to be trying to find that balance between pushing and also not killing your tires so you're driving on ice at the end of the race. But anyways, we're going to jump ahead now to the end of lap 9 because H2O was behind me but didn't really challenge too much. But you can see here at the hairpin they are able to get a move done on me. They're on the inside, but I do have the outside or I have the inside from the next corner, and I'm on their outside now, and it's drag race down the start-finish straight. We're going to head into the first right-hand kink, so they have the inside. I'm on the inside now, so I have this corner, but they're ahead. So I decided to brake, and I let them take it, but they have the compromised line, so I go for the cutback, and I get the better exit speed, and I'm able to out-accelerate them, and I'm able to sweep on ahead up into this hairpin section. So they smartly line up behind, and I go a little wide though because I was a little compromised. I was semi-defensive. I wasn't entirely sure, but they back up, and I'm going to fast forward again because you can see they catch up through the S's. That's by far the worst part of the track for me, and they're on the inside. And this guy here just does dive bomb of the century. I guess I don't know if they had a better dive bomb than I did, but I saw that coming, anticipated, so I didn't turn in as much. And unfortunately, I lose place to H2O because of that. Luckily, though, they are someone who's super fast, so they were actually the pole sitter. So luckily, you know, it's not like a person who dive bombs you and then slows you down. Luckily, they're on fresher tires, so they're able to pull away. So I'm going to try to mount to attack H2O. They tried to cover the inside for this corner, but I'm already there, so they give me the space. I take that really tight because I didn't know how much they're going to squeeze me, so I tried to do the cutback maneuver again, but unfortunately I was just too far back this time. So I do have a better exit speed, but I'm too far back, so I can't capitalize on that. So I'm just going to stick behind them because, I mean, that's all I can do. And you can see their tires are getting pretty warm, so I can't really do anything crazy without crashing us both out or doing something like that. But I'm still on the back of them, and OTJ owner is about 3.5 seconds behind, so I'm figuring, okay, this is fine. But then actually I managed to get the S's here pretty well. They actually go a little wide, so sticking behind them, you can see the gap is maintained pretty safe. They go wide again, so I'm hoping maybe I can get them to this hairpin. I know that 5th place is long gone, so I'm not too afraid. So they could go in the middle. I didn't know where to go, so I just stuck on the outside. Couldn't get that move done. Don't have the grip for that, and also I don't want to use the fuel for that either, since we're getting pretty close. So that was pretty much the end of that. We jumped to lap 12 because remember how OTJ owner was about 3.5 seconds behind? Well, they gained 2 seconds within like a lap and a half. So that's when I realized, crap, this is not good. They're going to catch up to me. So I started pushing. I had reserve fuel left, and I just started revving the car out completely, and I just started using everything the tires had left to give. And you can see there, because of that, I've actually caught back up to H2O, because they weren't pushing as hard as I was, because I was just I'm trying to keep 7th place at this point. I didn't have any illusions getting 6th. I just want to keep 7th, because now you can see OTJ owner is almost within a second now. They gained about half a second, 6/10 within that first section of the track. Now they're on their second, and I'm still pushing to have a fuel lap. Luckily for me, they make a mistake coming out of that S though, and you can see now they're dropping back to about 2 seconds. So I can relax a little, but I'm already on maximum attack. I still have half a lap of fuel left, or 3% fuel left according to the MFD. So I figure, why not keep attacking? Maybe I can get 6th. Nah, no point in giving up now that I'm here, since it's within a shot. So take it nice and easy through Death Chicane on these completely dead tires, and luckily for me, I get a good exit. H2O doesn't get a good exit. I'm peeling up on them. They go to the inside. They know exactly what's at stake, and I guess I could have gone the inside there, but I just went to the outside because I didn't have my radar up. I didn't want to accidentally crash into each other. I tried to go for the cutback here. Again, I just don't have the grip to make it work, so it's a drag race to the finish. I'm in the draft. They're going to pull over, and I run out of fuel at the end, at the line right there. So it's a really close race. There's actually a lot of good racing, at least for me, for this race. I wasn't really expecting that because we're basically racing British cruise liners around this track, but 7th place, and furthermore, first race back in 3 months and no penalties either. So 151 points is my total, and because again I was number 8, I was number 8 according to my number in the lobby, and I haven't raced in a while. I was happy with that. So anyways, I'll see you guys all in the next video, whenever that may be. So yeah, have a happy and safe New Year. Oh, bye viewers.